The non-dual tantric tradition holds to its own statement. It's non-dual. There is only one. There is only God. There is only Shiva. There's only Supreme Consciousness. Right? And the expression of that consciousness is all this multiplicity, never losing itself in its creation and expression in that multiplicity. Will we be the multiplicity? Right? Right. And so the problem, that's not the problem. And even within the non-dual traditions and the discussion of that expression of multiplicity out of that state of unity, there is the understanding that there is multiple levels of consciousness. They're called tattvas, right? Tattva towers, we call them, right? Right. And within those, there's 37, the 37th being supreme consciousness in itself, complete in itself, right? But within those levels of consciousness, there is what's called the ego. It happens to be way down on the totem pole, right? Right. That's not bad. Ego is not inherently bad. It is a level of consciousness, right? Just like supreme consciousness, just like having a body is a level of consciousness, right? In that process of that expression of multiplicity, there is the subtle to grosser shift from the experience of unity to the expressing it, the experience of unity to the experience of unity expressing all this multiplicity, to all of a sudden this subtle sense of being a little bit on this side of the equation and beginning to mostly feel the multiplicity, and mostly to feel myself as one of the cogs in that multiplicity, that I'm one of these individual expressions, right? Liberation, the tantric freedom, is the moving back to center, beginning to have the experience, yes, I am this individuated expression of the divine. This is what Kundalini is. It's what made me, right? To experiencing the source of that individuality, right? Never in that process is there a negation of any of the other levels. There is the recognition that as these levels of consciousness are experienced and express themselves, that there is an inherent limitation that happens all the way down. There's nice little black rocks over there. Those are supreme consciousness. They're just not very aware of it. Really, I'm just a rock. In every level of consciousness, it's called sentience, right? In the Tantra tradition, that's called vimarsha, self-reflective capacity, right? Inherent in every functioning, existing thing on the face of the planet, the face of the universe, beyond the universe, is that supreme consciousness inherent within it, right? We, as human beings, have the capacity to move up and down the elevator. Right? We, as human beings, in this form, have the capacity to transform our consciousness from one of I'm this individual, I need this, I'm separate, I need that, right? I'm different, right? I'm doing all this stuff, to freeing ourselves from the fact that we think we're doing anything, the fact that we think we're different, and the experience that we're separate. So there is a merging back into that experience. But here's the subtle thing for you to understand. There's only one experiencer. So we, as God, as Shiva, are experiencing, I'm a jackass. I'm the baddest motherfucker on the face of the planet, right? This is God saying these silly things, right? There is only one experiencer. There is only one doer. Having all these experiences, right? And so, as that progression, if you will, as that ascending of consciousness begins to move back to itself, this is what grace is. Come on home, y'all, right? Calling us back home. It's the same one supreme experience that's moving through that ascension. So there's never any conflict between all this multiplicity and this one unified field of consciousness having multiple experiences. Perhaps this is one of the things that we could really say is the difference between us and God. God can have all these experiences at once and never lose himself. We have two experiences and we're toast, right? Be thoughtful about, there is, if you will, a merging, right? But there is only a merging with ourself. There is only this supreme consciousness merging back into itself. So it wipes out the whole discussion, fear, oh, do I lose my individuality, etc. What does individual mean? No, it means one. There's one individual. And his name is Shiva, right? That subtle understanding is what Rudy suggested to us comes with depth over time.